everybody? Welcome back to the Mando Bros. It's your boy, Big O Nuggets, and with me is my boy.
Yo, how's it? It's Eagle Heart.
And today we're going to be talking about Darth Vader. By far one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. And somebody who I genuinely feel we don't get or doesn't get shown too much love. From what we just see from the movies, some, cameos in the shows, we really don't see too much about Darth Vader. I don't know if you agree with me with that, Eagle Heart.
I agree. Vader was not given enough justice in all the movies and shows that he put in.
Yes, and because pretty much once we see the transition from Anakin to Darth Vader, we get told that Darth Vader and Darth Sidious pretty much ruled the galaxy with an iron fist, and I really want to see more of that. And just for that, guys, also this is gonna be one part to multiple series coming up because we're gonna be looking at the comics. All right, the comics about Darth Vader. We get a lot more information regarding Darth Vader and a lot of other stuff that went down while he was Vader. During that era that we see everybody talk so highly of Darth Vader, which is why he became one of my favorite characters. So we're going to be talking and looking over a lot of the different comic books in future episodes and a really big series for Vader because trust me, there's gonna be more information coming out with the way the movies are going with the Kenobi show coming up in Disney Plus. Who knows? We might even get a Darth Vader movie or something like that, which I will freak the fuck out if we do. So that would it's just if we get a Darth Vader movie or just like something about Darth Vader, I'll freak out. A solo movie about Vader just ruling the galaxy, I would love that. But let's get right into Darth Vader then, everybody. For those of you who don't know, Darth Vader, again, was known as Anakin Skywalker. He was born in Tatooine, and where pretty much he was raised there as a slave. He was owned by Watto, which is one of my kind of favorite characters in the movies. Because, hey, let me get that pod racer. I sounded a little weird right there. I don't know. It's not Watto at all. But, he was born there. But I have a theory real quick before we continue about Anakin's birth. Pretty much, there's two theories going on right now. One theory is, what if Anakin was just born straight from the Force? Like, the Force manifested into his mother's womb, and we got, such a Force-sensitive, child of Anakin, just born from the Force, right? Just naturally, because we see in the movies that Anakin's mom did not know anything about his father. There was no father in the picture. So there, Anakin's father is up in the air, right? And there's a second theory talking about Palpatine or Darth Sidious in one way, shape, or form, seeing into the future, saw that, Anakin was going to be born and in some way manipulated the midichlorians in the womb of his mother and pretty much had him set to become or turn into the dark side. So Eagle Heart, I don't know how do you feel about those two theories?
I believe the second theory, because just like if you know the history of Darth Plagueis, he was able to manipulate life.
And Darth Sidious was his Padawan, correct?
Yes, correct. So I believe the second theory that Darth Sidious really manipulated the Force to create Anakin.
Yes. Okay. See, and so we want to know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I think that's a really big controversy in a way, but let's see what you guys think. But let's continue on. So Anakin was discovered by Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, and Padme in Tatooine when they were trying to find parts for the ship. Qui-Gon was convinced that Anakin was very strong with the Force, and so he wanted to take him back to the Jedi Council to be trained to become a Jedi Knight. And that's where his journey begins, right? But as his journey begins, when he meets Emperor Palpatine, right? That's when he starts to become seduced by the dark side. Another thing that we see Anakin take that big turn to the dark side is when his mother gets captured by the Tusken Raiders or Sand People and is killed, which enrages Anakin, and he goes on a rampage and kills all the Tusken Raiders in that village that murdered his mother. And that's when we first see that coming up, as we see Anakin grow and become a very powerful Jedi Knight. You know, he battles Count Dooku. You know, he's with Obi-Wan during the Clone Wars. You know, a lot of stuff is going on right now. You know, and especially his love towards Padme and his fear of losing her. That was another big thing where Darth Sidious, in a way, was telling him that he can help him save Padme and teach him the ways of the Force, you know, to save lives. So in that way, Anakin was seduced by Darth Sidious to, you know, trust in the dark side. He kills Count Dooku, you know. And during the Clone Wars, he starts to murder different people during the series, which you get to see a lot of that, how his eyes in one way turn like yellowish, reddish when he starts to turn over to the dark side in a way. And then at the end, of course, when we get that beautiful final battle in Mustafar, where Obi-Wan is trying to talk to Anakin, but Anakin is convinced that he has been betrayed by both Padme and Obi-Wan, where Anakin force chokes Padme, doesn't kill her, but, you know, injures her, and, you know, the infamous battle begins, and Obi-Wan, of course, has the high ground and just destroys Anakin, and that's where we get the words, that big transition from Anakin to Darth Vader, and we get, you know, Darth Vader being Darth Sidious's apprentice, you know, ruling the galaxy. And for that, I'm going to pass it over to my boy Eagleheart. He's going to tell you guys a little bit more about Darth Vader and some really interesting facts. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. All right. So most of us all know, you know, how Vader became Vader. You know, Obi-Wan chopped off his limbs fell into lava, and then Palpatine recovers him and then rebuilds him and puts a cyborg suit of armor as his replacements. But the one flaw to this armor, which I believe, you know, Palpatine did purposely, cut off his abilities of using the Force just a little bit, but not much. It, you know, made him couldn't use lightning force and similar attacks for the Force. I mean, basically, he could Force choke, and that was about it. But was damn strong. But also in doing this, it returned his body back to life. You know, but he could only use this suit. If he took his helmet off or anything, he would end up dying because he couldn't breathe anymore. One thing, though, Palpatine did to keep him enraged was to lie to him and say that out of his rage, he killed Padme, his secret love, his wife. And which we all know was a lie because a few hours, you know, she survived and gave birth to twins. But it later, you know, that rage turned him into what we know today as Darth Vader. The cruel fist of the new galactic empire was complete. Another little fun fact, Vader couldn't eat unless he was in his pod. That was the only time he was allowed to eat, or he could eat, because he couldn't take his helmet off. Which, you know, that would be kind of frustrating. You know, you could only eat in one place all the time. But one thing I'll leave you guys off with is a quote from Vader himself. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force, Darth Vader. And I'll leave it as that. Nuggets, you got anything?
Yes, I got one more thing. Something I found funny while I was looking at everything. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember the scene in The Revenge of the Sith where pretty much Mace Windu denies Anakin the rank of Master after him pretty much becoming one of the, if not one of the most strongest, you know, Jedi Knights in the Council itself, which, you know, in a way really enraged Anakin. And it's funny because during the Order 66, when we have the Inquisitors, which are other, you know, Force sensitive, or you could say Jedi, but from the Sith, you know, Darth Sidious takes Darth Vader and takes him over to them and says, Darth Vader, you are now a master. You're gonna train these Inquisitors, and pretty much, grants him the rank of master, which I thought was just really funny because it took him, to get his limbs chopped off, get burned alive, literally become a robot, and turn to the dark side for him to become a master in the the Jedi way, or the Force. Whether it's training Inquisitors. I just thought that was hilarious. Uh, and like I said, but this is just kind of like a quick overview, guys, of Vader. We will be, I said, diving more into Vader and his time before he dies, pretty much, or gets turned to the light side by Luke. So we're gonna be looking into a lot of his comics, a lot of the stuff that comes up about Vader. I'm very excited to bring you guys this content because, like I said, a lot of these comics give us a great view of Vader, of how he ruled and how powerful he was, regardless of the limitations that Casey Eagleheart mentioned. That even Darth Sidious put in a suit. Darth Vader was still a force to be reckoned with, and by far one of the most strongest Sith Lords of his time. Just absolutely, destroying and ruling the galaxy. So we got a lot of that coming up for you guys. I'm very excited. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know anything about Vader that you guys might not know. Let us know in the comments below, everybody.
Yeah. Leave the comments. Let us know if there. Leave us little fun facts or anything you want us to talk about in future videos. We'll definitely do our research and look up your comments and make videos off of whatever you guys want us to look up.
Yep.
Do.
Exactly. And but keep an eye out for our next comic videos coming up. We will also be reading some on stream and stuff as well. So if you guys want to come by and check that out, we will have that as well. Fridays is our Star Wars nights in our Twitch channel. So all the information will be in the description below, everybody. But thank you so much, and Eagleheart, take us out like always.
May the Force be with you, for this is the way.
Thank you, everybody.